I put everything into this car. I've invested everything I have into this car. The wide body, the oversized, the wheels. As you can tell, the car doesn't even look like an MR2 anymore. Not so much to change the way it looks, but to enhance it, to give it that look. As everything takes money, it's custom yellow paint job.
So I had a plan to execute this wide body that you see here. And at first it was a concept, and the concept became reality. But it didn't come overnight. It didn't happen overnight. This was a there was a few challenges I had to overcome to make this wide body come to life. The goal was to obviously have a clean car, but still have that extreme look, wide as can be. But you can't really tell how wide it is unless you come up close and compare it to perhaps another wide body, or let's say like the TRD wide body kit. At first, I had the TRD wide body installed, and once I had installed, I was very unhappy with the results, because it just didn't feel like a wide body to me. It felt like it was just a body kit that had, I don't know, a little bit more, maybe an inch wider on each side, but it just didn't seem like a real wide body to me. Even the side skirts didn't really seem like it was much wider than stock. And it just felt like I needed more. I felt like I needed to make it a truly wide body, because in my mind I was thinking of an MR2 that was sort of give it a more of an exotic feel, if you will. I know it's JDM, but I kind of want to give it that clean exotic feel. I didn't want it to be all cluttered with all these parts that look like it didn't match up or anything. I wanted to give it a smooth wide body, but really give it that wide stance, not just a pretend wide stance, but a real, wide looking car. And so I took it to another shop to take off the TRD kit, and then have them sort of fabricate a wide body based on that and make it wider, so they fabricated it, they made it wider, and then they put it back onto the car. But that took time. Again, that took like, I think over a year and a half or so. And this was already after the first shop. The first shop, it was already in there for close to a year. I had to take it out again because I was unhappy with the body work or the body kit, because and I know they didn't have the capability to do what I wanted them to do. So I took it to another shop that did fabrications on wide bodies, but then it ended up sitting there for another year and a half or so. Very frustrating time, it was very frustrating. And then they couldn't finish the body work as well. It was just sitting there because they had so much other insurance work that they had to do. It was they started doing the wide body, started fabricating something that I had envisioned in my head, but then they had to stop working on it as well. So I had to take it to a third shop up in Pasadena, where there was this shop that was specializing in actually in European cars, a lot of nice cars, if you will, like BMWs, Mercedes, and classic cars. Okay, so the master fabricator at that shop really knew what he was doing, because he took care of all these really old classic exotic cars. I mean, it wasn't cheap, okay? I had to kind of pay up to take my car there, but I wanted to finish the project. I didn't want to just leave it the way it was, half-baked. And this was already 3 years down the road, okay? My car has already been in 3 different shops for over, yeah, close to 3 years already. Well, close to 3 years when I got it out of the 3rd shop, okay? So that's a long time of waiting, where nowadays all you have to do now in terms of making a wide body is just adding like an add-on, right? A wide body is if you replace everything. You replace the fenders, the body, everything, and put a sort of a different body to it. Fabricate something new. And I'm not just talking about tacking on an over fender just to make it look wider than it is, but still have the stock fender on there. You know, that's an over fender. That's not really a wide body. Had wide bodies back then. It wasn't like over fenders or anything. I'm not trying to like say anything negative about the type of wide bodies they have now. Obviously it's a different trend, it's a different time frame, but I'm just saying, as far as back in the day when I had my custom wide body created, the type of work and fabrications back then were just insane, okay? Because it was basically done from scratch, okay? When we did wide bodies like mine, it was fabricated. The whole thing was fabricated. The whole fenders and the body were replaced. It wasn't just like adding an over fender, slapping on the side, and then calling it a wide body. It's a whole different. It was a whole different mentality. It was a whole different way of doing custom work and modifying your cars and so on. You know. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that, oh, it's better than nowadays. There was a lot of craftsmanship involved in creating these custom work that now could probably just be mass produced, or maybe back then it wasn't available because, you know, the custom work, right? It's like a one-off. Like my wide body was like that. One thing I didn't realize, or one thing that some people may not realize, that when you put on a wide body, that the lines are not perfect. It's not like if you put metal, then that's a whole different thing, right? You can smooth it out, make it ready, prep it ready for the paint, and it would be ready to go. But when you do work like that, where you have to like use fiberglass and just straighten the body out, you really need to hire someone who really knew what they were doing in terms of body work. And so that's why I had that 3rd master fabricator do my car, because not only did he finish the body, but he also straightened it out, which is actually, it's just as much work, or if not more work, than creating the wide body itself. Because if it wasn't straight, if the body isn't straight, then, and they paint the car, you will see all those imperfections. So these are the details that car enthusiasts or tuners that have never, you know, experienced creating a custom body work don't know. All that work took time, took energy, took money, but eventually I got it done. If you look at the back, you would see that the tail lights were also extended. So the whole body was basically, in a way, reimagined or changed in some way. Not just, it wasn't just adding things to it. Get the custom sizing for my car to make sure that it fits perfect for the wide body. So I had to go through the shop. It's called Spreewell. This was back then. Now it's gone. The place is completely gone now. And Spreewell, you know, the basketball player, he had a tuner shop or a modification shop back in SGV back in the days. And that's where I had my wheels custom made back then. And you know, I had them measure my wheel well and then had them create the custom lip for me, and that took again another, I think, 6 months for them to complete that. And it wasn't cheap either, because they were custom wheels. It was so wide nobody else has it, but you can't really tell how wide it is until you go up close and really measure it, because of the way the car, I mean the body's been molded to the car. it doesn't look like a body kit. It looks like it's actually part of the vehicle. You know what I mean? It looks like part of the car. That and the shape too. It's not just like a box that's been added to the car to look wide, but rather it's like sculpted. You know what I mean? And then it still has the original lines, but in a much wider and extreme way. So it's extremely clean, or clean to the extreme, however you want to put it. And that's what I mean about when I'm talking about trying to turn it into a Japanese exotic. Because exotic cars have that sort of super look. Lamborghini is wide as heck, but it looks sexy and smooth. So that's kind of what I mean about the exotic flavor that I try to bring into, like, say, even a Japanese car, which is what the MR2 is, you know. But it's extreme because it has that extreme wide body. You could put those really, really wide, deep dish wheels, but yet it doesn't look like it's like that. It doesn't look like it's just tacked on wide. It's actually smooth, like it came out of factory. That's what I mean by clean.